Hey guys, Probable1701 here, and today I want to talk about some classic Doctor Who and a director that more and more I've found out I think is just one of the best directors Doctor Who probably ever had. He's really, really good. You know, I'd be watching different episodes, and I kept seeing this name, Douglas Camfield, popping up, and I noticed it was happening on stories I liked a bit. I was like, Douglas Camfield, interesting. And then I tend to watch the behind-the-scenes stuff on a lot of the DVDs, so I've seen several things talking about Douglas, how he ran things kind of like a military operation. I think him and Graham Harper had like uniforms made for him for one story or something. I think that was Douglas they were talking about. I forget. But I believe he ran everything with like kind of a military precision he picked up from his time in the military. But everybody seems to have really liked Douglas. Everybody calls him Dougie. So everybody seems to talk really good about him. He was really good to work with. And as I got to actually looking at the stories he did, because I finally got curious and said, Douglas Camfield, I need to actually get on Wikipedia and look up his stories. I realized, man, this guy did some really good stories of Doctor Who in the classic era. The first one he's credited with is Planet of the Giants, episode 3. I actually think he directed episode 4, and I know 3 and 4 were edited together into one episode, and he was credited for episode 3. But the very first full one he did was The Crusade. Now, I don't really know much about The Crusade, quality-wise. Most of what I hear about it is, the only missing episodes from Season 2 are from it. It'd be really hard to animate. I don't hear a lot about the quality of the story. I think I've heard people talk about it was good, but I've never really heard a consensus on it. But after that, he did The Time Meddler. And while I haven't seen The Time Meddler, everybody seems to like The Time Meddler. I constantly hear good things about The Time Meddler. And, the meddling monk is a cool character. It's a good story. And then Douglas Camfield is the person who directed Dalek's Master Plan. Again, while I haven't seen Dalek's Master Plan, I'm well aware of its reputation and how everybody wants it animated and how it's pretty phenomenal and epic and all of that. So that's a pretty massive compliment, since he directed it. Now, he also did Web of Fear. I really like Web of Fear. I think it's a little overrated, but the camera angles and the directing on Web of Fear are so well done. Douglas Camfield, I think, was really good at doing these kind of tense, atmospheric, have you on the edge of your seats, have you hiding behind the sofa, really doing these neat camera angle shots that he could do. His stories have this kind of signature look to them when I started realizing what they are. He's really good at doing, I think, the kind of spooky, scary, there's something, might just be something right around the corner or something reaching out of the dark to grab you. I really think he was good at doing these. Web of Fear is a great example of that. He also did The Invasion, another fantastic story. And The Invasion also has those really tense actions, really tense scenes, really good action scenes. The iconic imagery of the Cybermen walking around the city is probably some of the most iconic imagery in all of Doctor Who. Seeing the Cybermen coming out of the sewers and everything is so great. And then the story itself is so good. Vaughn is such a convincing human villain. The Cyberman design and it looks so good. It's just such a good story. He also did Inferno, but he didn't do all of Inferno. He had a mild heart attack while working on Inferno. And according to the Wikipedia notes, he did episodes 1 and 2, and then the location work for the others, with Barry Letts doing the studio work for the others. Now, I don't know the validity of that, because again, it's Wikipedia, you never can know. But I've heard from DVD extras too that I think after the first couple episodes he had that mild heart attack, and Barry Letts did the others. But he at least directed the first 2 episodes, and quite possibly the location work for all the others. And Inferno is a fantastic story. I love Inferno. It's my favorite Third Doctor story. It's one of my top 10 favorite stories in all of Doctor Who. I absolutely love Inferno. And I think Douglas and Barry both do a fantastic job on it. And then he was gone for a while, possibly because of that. And then he came back in season 13 and did Terror of the Zygons, which is another really good one. Some people call it a masterpiece. I think it's right below masterpiece, but really, really good. I really enjoy Terror of the Zygons. It's a really good story. And it's, again, held as a masterpiece by a lot of people. And then that same season, he directed his final story, Seeds of Doom. Well, his final Doctor Who story, I should say, Seeds of Doom. And Seeds of Doom is phenomenal. Again, much like with Web of Fear, it's scary, and creepy, and something's right around the corner going to grab you. It could be that innocent-looking plant in the corner. You just don't know. It really does have these tense, spooky, scary moments in it. I absolutely love the Seeds of Doom. If I had to pick a favorite Tom Baker season finale, it's really hard to pick between Talons and Seeds of Doom. They're both so good, and Douglas does such a good job at directing this story, and it's such a good story to begin with. And sadly, that was his last story, and he also would pass away about 10 years later. He had a heart attack, I believe, in early '84 and died, sadly. I would have loved to have had him in more Doctor Who, but it was just interesting when I started looking at the stories he actually directed and knowing that the ones I haven't seen are held in pretty high regard, and then the ones I have seen are all really good. There's like no duds here. I don't know a lot about the Crusade, but other than that, there's no just bad stories or boring stories here. It seems like he was really good at what he did. The Time Meddler, good reputation. Dalek's Master Plan, good reputation. Web of Fear, great story. The Invasion, phenomenal story. Inferno, one of the best Doctor Who stories ever made. Saigons, great story. And Seeds of Doom, one of Tom Baker's best. I mean, that's some good stories that Douglas directed, and I definitely wanted to just talk about him a little bit. And just it's always nice as a Doctor Who fan finding out more about the people behind the show, the writers, the directors. You know, I'll never forget when I started catching on. Man, every time I see this written by Robert Holmes, it turns out to be a really good story, as long as the squid's not involved. You know, it's kind of neat when you start picking up on some of the episodes you like have the same writers or the same directors. It's always neat to discover that. So I'm really happy to say that even though I'll never be able to tell Douglas Camfield thank you, that I really wish I could, that I do want to mention that I'm a really big fan of his Doctor Who work, and he really did direct some fantastic Doctor Who episodes. So what do you think of Douglas Camfield, and what do you think of the stories he directed? I would like to hear from you guys about this. So comment down below and let me know what you think of this fantastic director. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I do a new video every day. I also have a Patreon. If you like what I do and would like to contribute to what I do, there is a link to that down in the description below. My entry-level tier is only $2 a month. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.